Welcome once again to my YouTube channel. Mm, Today I'm presenting mm, a problem of my project is about text generation. Like there is a lot of typing done in artificial intelligence, and there's always a possibility of many mistakes, poor grammar. So to solve this problem with AI, we shall adopt the use of an open AI text generator, which is able to learn the structure of the language and be able to generate text which is grammatically correct and sounds natural. So the kind of data set we shall use for our project is a general language understanding evaluation data set, which is also known as GLUE. You can abbreviate it as GLUE, as it is a collection of 9 natural language understanding tasks that includes single sentence tasks. It is also a collection of sentence pairs that is drawn from news headlines, video, and image captions. So we shall use this data set in our project, um, and it is helpful in artificial intelligence for training, evaluating, and analyzing natural language. So what factors did we consider, like before selecting this kind of data set? Which type of data set? First of all was I looked at the goal of my analysis, like how much data I'm to use for my goals. So the more the data, I think the better the data set. Also looked at the costs. So the cost will depend on the number of samples in the data set and the complexity of a model. So the cost will be determined by how much time it takes, like to train a model on your data set, and how much you have to input in order to train that data set. We also looked at accuracy. How accurate is the data set? Mm? How 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 much like true output does it give in relation to the number of instances in the data set? So a more accurate data set will be more preferable. Then the complexity. A complex data set will be hard to maintain and explain. But then in some cases, a more complex data set can as well lead to better performance. Though at the same time, it would be really costly. Features in this data set. The data set we've identified as GLUE. Some of the features are a benchmark of 9 sentence or sentence pair language understanding tasks, a diagnostic dataset designed to evaluate and analyze model performance, a public leaderboard for tracking performance and the benchmark, and a dashboard for visualizing the performance of models on the diagnostic set. So those are the main features that we look at to determine whether this data set will work for us, whether it is okay for our project. Bayes theorem. When you talk about Bayes theorem, I don't know what comes to your mind when you hear Bayes' theorem. It states that the conditional probability of an event based on the occurrence of another event is equal to the likelihood of the second event given the first event multiply the probability of the first event. Like the probability, the chance of an event, the likelihood of an event to occur basing on the occurrence of another event maybe that happened or is gonna happen. So that is what I would talk about Bayes' theorem and how it states. Then naive Bayes. This is a simple learning algorithm that utilizes Bayes' rule together with a strong assumption that the attributes are conditionally independent given the class. Naive Bayes is a classifier. We call it a classifier. It also uses Bayes' theorem to classify objects. It assumes strong or naive independence between attributes of data points. So we always use it in like spam filters, text analysis, medical diagnosis, and so many others. Then when we talk about Bayesian networks, we have Bayesian theorem, we have naive Bayes, then we have the Bayesian networks. The Bayesian networks are ideal for taking an event that occurred and predicting the likelihood that any one of several possible known cases was the contributing factor. Like if you like the likelihood of an event, its occurrence like would depend. Like something would be like ideal for these Bayesian networks. They are ideal for taking an event that occurred, something that already happened, and predicting, assuming that the likelihood that any one of several possible known causes was the contributing factor. Hope you understand that. These Bayesian networks can be used in hospitals to find out like the relationship between a disease and the symptoms that the person would be having. The differences between naive and Bayesian network would be that naive Bayes, it assumes conditional independence. Then Bayes networks allows the user to specify which attributes are conditionally independent. Well, um, um, I think that is what I had for today, though a bit so brief, but thanks for listening in, and I urge you to continue. Subscribe to my channel, you follow up, comments, and God bless you. Always stay here to enjoy more and more. Thank you. These are some of the references to my work. You can tap on one of them and you get more information about what I was able to explain. Thank you.